Hey, so I'm here with my student, Alec. He's from San Diego, joined the program a couple months ago. He's been getting some good results and doing some really cool stuff. I wanted to introduce Alec and then just have him share his story of like where he is in his real estate journey before he decided to work with the Mastermind group. Welcome, Alec.
How's it going, Mike? Yeah, so where I was we did a lot of trustee sale buying, and we didn't have, in the last 10 years, done about 150 flips total, me and my wife. We didn't really need to do marketing and other kinds of acquisition because we were relying on the trustee sale. Had some brokers in town that were bringing us deals, so that was keeping us busy. But the market's changed in the last 3 or 4 years, especially, and trustee sales have gone really low. So it's created a deficit that I knew I needed to fix.
Okay, basically make a change, right? Yeah, you had to make a change like a lot of us.
Yeah. In the course of looking for someone to help us out, we met at Flip Hacking. I saw a bunch of videos you did, and I just kind of aligned up with your thought process. Look, one example would be, hey, you got to learn as a business owner, you got to learn something to be able to create people underneath you that can help you do it. And that resonated with me a lot, because a lot of people, they just want to throw it to someone. And, how can you manage that type of business when you don't actually know yourself? So that was kind of one of the things that made me interested in working with you. So
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, such a true statement too, by the way. Me and Alex, just before we got on this video, we were talking about PPC, and I've never really had success with PPC. And then just in the last year, I decided to learn it myself and get someone to coach me to learn it and do it myself. And since I've done that, I've literally taken the results that used to cost me $4K, and I'm getting $1,000. I'm getting the same result. So I do have a belief that yes, I've heard a lot of people teach and say, just give it away, right? There's an expert that can do it better than you. But when it's a small business and we can't pay someone $250K a year to work for us, my experience has been it's good for us to learn it and then build a system around it and give it away. And Alec, you're seeing that in real life. I know just in the first 2 months we worked together, you were able to get 2 deals. You're in San Diego, so you're not local. So that's actually a really important piece to say, because one of the biggest things I hear is, well, I want to work with a local coach. And what would you say about that? Because I know you've worked with a local coach, and, and I've worked with some local people versus nationwide people. And, it's really about working with the best coach, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's something to that, but I also know when I first started in the whole real estate flipping game, I wanted to stay really close to the section of town that I lived in because I knew it well. But there was just not enough deal flow. So I had to go out and look at new markets and more chase a deal than just something in a certain area. So I think it kind of mirrors the same way. Hey, if you got a system down, unless we're in Poland or somewhere where it's totally different, I wasn't at all uncomfortable with that aspect that you were in, an equally hot market, but it wasn't my market. That was my view on it. I think if you know the process, that it's going to be pretty much the same anywhere. There's going to be small ins and outs, but you're going to have to learn those on your own anyway. So I don't think there'd be that much more value if you were in San Diego.
Obviously it would be great to find someone that's local if you had the best, but in anything in life, if you got 3 people in San Diego to pick from, or you can look around the whole United States and pick the best of 1,000 people, you're always going to have a better selection. I'm actually using that when I hire people now. I used to only hire people local. Now I'm really big on hiring people virtually, because I just hired an amazing CFO, but I was able to look through thousands of CFOs throughout the country. And I wasn't even limited to the United States, honestly, because what if there's an amazing CFO that decides he wants to live in Costa Rica, for half the price or whatever it is to live here. And this guy's a financial genius and wants to work for me for $100 an hour instead of $500 an hour for the local guy, who also local guy's not that good. I've had to learn that lesson myself, that local's not always better. I get why people love local, but honestly, I have a high level coach. He's from California. So funny enough, my coach is actually from your part of town, and he knows nothing about house flipping. And it was interesting how insightful he was when he looked at my business. A guy had never flipped a house, and he could instantly just see where the pain points were. He could instantly pick out here's why you're not being successful. Here's what's holding you back. And I'm my mind's blown, by the way, because I'm how does he know this? He's never even flipped a house. But he did. He was right. And I've been working with him for 3.5 years to date, and he's still an amazing coach. And I never had any concern that he wasn't, because I wanted to learn systems and processes. And systems and processes work in any state. Right now, we've tried it even in Canada, and it works. And that's a whole different country. And I have a student in Canada, Michael Chow, and he's crushing it with these systems. Now, are there little things, like you said, we have to figure out? Sure. But we can jump on a call and figure all those out in an hour. And we
Right.
did, by the way, right? Me and you jumped on an hour. You told me everything I need to know. We dug in and we had
Right.
a clear plan, right?
Yeah.
We knew exactly what to do. And then you got 2 deals in San Diego, which I think potentially one of the hottest markets in the country.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of, everyone wants to be here for the weather, obviously, but there's a lot of transient, colleges, military. So it keeps the housing market active. A lot of people buying and selling, so yeah.
You can literally just look at this video. It's raining and dreary in Baltimore, and he's in San Diego, and the video is bright and sunny. It's 90 degrees. It's still 90 degrees there.
Yeah, it's a little cool. We have what they call Santa Ana winds. So they blow in from the desert, and it gets, this time of year, it's always not 90, but I mean, the last 2 days have been pretty glorious.
Everyone wants to live there. So yeah, it makes house flipping more challenging, but pretty cool is you've actually used my systems in a really hot competitive market and you're able to get deals. And we've used these same systems in, like by DC and stuff, which is really competitive. And every system works in every market, no matter how competitive it is. And it's these competitive edges that you need, right? It's these little things, little details me and you got into are what's causing you to start to be able to get deals. So it's pretty cool stuff. So out of state, right? So one of the other questions is, you had no concern, you said, with that. What would you say some of the biggest takeaways were as we started to work together? Like some of the things you probably haven't heard from other coaches, or you just felt like, oh, that's pretty original. I've never really, like, Mike puts up a good spin on that.
I think it was more like the confidence of, like, a lot of the things you've been teaching me, I had an idea would work, but having you in a similar hot market saying, hey, yeah, I'm picking up these deals left and right. You just got to make these small little changes in what you're doing. That was the biggest takeaway. I don't know if I just got lucky or whatever, but it was like, day 3 where I landed that MLS deal. I mean, literally day 3 with, just, hey, go out, look at these deals and make an offer a different way than I was making an offer, for sure. I knew what you were talking about and I knew it probably would work, but I hadn't experienced before. And I think your experience overlaying the advice kind of gave me like, hey, if someone else is doing it, I can do it too.
It's a really powerful subject that you're bringing up. And I've experienced that also, where your gut tells you're like, I know this should work, right? Like, why doesn't this work? Like, I know logically I should be able to find a contractor who'll do the work for a cheap enough price, but why can't I do it? And what you're talking about is the difference between having a really good system that has data behind it. So when you talk about my confidence, that confidence doesn't come just from because I've been in the business a long time. It comes because I measure things, and I actually am very confident because I not only do I have the experience of it working, but I have the data of saying, oh, every 10 times I do it exactly this way, it works. So this is a big thing that helps us to know, like, we need to know, are we there yet? You know why the kids are always like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like, we kind of need to know how long it's going to take to do something, because we were just talking about doing PPC. And one of the things we started to discuss was like, how long will you commit to it? And because we need to know the data. If you're going to jump in and you start spending $2,000 a month on doing any kind of marketing, the first thing your brain's going to want to know is like, how long should it take for me to expect a result? And then, make sure you have the money to accommodate that for that time period. Those facts I have when it comes to MLS, I got it down to a science. It comes to wholesalers. You make this many offers, you do it this exact way. Every little piece, every little move counts, right? These little things that people are doing incorrectly actually are sabotaging the crap out of them. You're proof of that, because you said you were working it didn't work. Every student I work with who's doing the MLS is not getting deals within sometimes a week, some 3 days for you, sometimes 30 days, sometimes 60. They're crushing the MLS and getting unlimited deals for free, which I love, by the way. I think free is amazing. It's something that
everyone loves free.
Everyone loves free, but I'll tell you, most people believe that free is not a thing anymore. People think it's too competitive for free. And I actually believed that about 4 years ago. And luckily enough, that awesome coach from California challenged me on it. He's like, Mike, are you sure it's not? I mean, are other people getting deals on the MLS? And I was like, yeah, but they're probably not making money. He's like, are all of them not making money? And then he's like, and I was like, well, yeah, maybe. And he's like, well, sounds like to me you don't know for sure. So he advised, he's like, I'd like you to do some research and we'll talk in a week. Came back in a week and I researched, and come to find out there was a bunch of people getting good deals that I had never even seen because I wasn't looking correctly. I wasn't handling the deal the right way. So that went into my couple-month journey of reverse engineering the MLS and how people were getting deals, what was working, what wasn't working. I don't think I've ever even told that story before, but that was kind of what drove me into challenging and not quitting. Now that my coach does that across all aspects, my job with you as your coach is to do the same thing. So it's kind of fun when we we have someone to push us on that, because then you gain the confidence to follow through and stick with something that's working. Multiple times in my flipping career, I've almost stopped doing something that had been really profitable for me over the years because it got a little harder for a month. You know how it is. The grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Yeah, if you had asked me 2 months ago, what are you doing with the MLS? Would have been, hey, that's just brain damage. I'm not even looking. It was just like, I would do it once in a while and then it would get beat down. I was like, I'll do something else. I mean, it's just not working. Now it's a different story. Now I'm on it every day.
What's really interesting too is this is not just true with the MLS. It's actually true with anything you do in marketing. So people always ask me like, what's your favorite way? What would you recommend? And like, I always recommend MLS in most markets, not every market. There's probably about 5 or 6 markets in the country that MLS doesn't work that well. But if you've got a big city with a lot of listings, a lot of opportunity, you can make the MLS work because of the numbers game. But with that being said, they always ask what works best. I always say free stuff first, right? Do free stuff. But from a marketing standpoint, everything works, right? It's just a matter of what you're going to dedicate yourself to make it work and figure it out and get the details right. I've been in my career, I've been able to make almost everything that you've thought of work. I've done cold calling, I've done bandit signs, letters, PPC, TV commercials, radio. I don't really recommend TV commercials and radio anymore because radio is pretty much dead at this point and nobody's listening to the radio anymore. So it's not working as well as it used to. And honestly, I cut my TV off like 3 years ago. So I think that's starting to be a thing. So those are 2 things that legitimately might not work as well anymore simply because the industry itself is going down. But does a bandit sign work still? Of course it does. The secret is knowing how many you got to put out, the best strategy to put them out, what you should expect, how many people you need to talk to. And once your expectations are set, then you can follow through. See, when people don't know and they're out there just trying to figure it out, man, you end up quitting well before you ever get to the finish line. So anyhow, like you made some really good points, man. You inspired me to talk about that subject. So hopefully it's some good value for some people. Overall, how happy are you that you joined the group?
I'm really happy. Yeah. I mean, it's no secret sauce or anything. It's hard work like anything else, but I got more tools at my disposal to lead me the right path, lead me the right direction. My wife loves it even better because now I can stop asking her questions that she doesn't know the answer to. so right there's value.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I ask questions I don't know the answer to most of the time, but that's where it all starts, right? Is like my coach got me curious and he's like, Mike, ask questions. And like anything that you say, when you make a statement of something not working, he's like, instead ask the question, what would it take to work? Actually, Rich Dad, Poor Dad talks about that all the time, right? It's not, I can't. It's like, what would it take to do it? It's some pretty powerful stuff. Anything we want, we can do, right? We can do houses in San Diego and beautiful weather and live the life. We can do them in Baltimore, or near DC where it's really competitive. Toronto's crazy competitive, and my student there is doing really well. So it's, we've definitely proven as a group. How do you like the other people in the group? What would you say, like just the vibe overall with everyone? How helpful has everyone been?
Yeah, it's great. I look forward to that call and look forward to helping and being helped by others. Not you in particular, but in that group. And that's, again, it's like someone you can run questions by, whether it's like, hey, I just tried rubbing alcohol to clean off a window paint. You know what I mean? It was like, I did that the other day and I was just like, this is great. This is awesome. A painter showed me it, you know what I mean? But it's just sharing little things like that to like, they were talking the other day about a well, something I don't really get exposed to too much, but I might, you know what I mean? And I got that in the back of my head, like, hey, one of those people on the call I could probably get in touch with and they can kind of take me through what it was to fix the well or, any of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty powerful to have that at your disposal and to be able to help, because it feels good, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate you helping. And honestly, everyone that we allow into the group, we're very particular who we let in. But the people we let in always, even if they're new, they do less helping when they're new. But then once they get their stuff together and they're starting to discover and, hack through some things and make some just, cool, figure some stuff out, then they're always willing to share it. And I love that about the group. It's probably the biggest value of what I get from the group too, is that, I'm listening also. Like you said, you don't help me, but you totally would help me. And I learn from you. I learn sometimes from teaching you, but also at the same time, your questions make me learn. And then, rubbing alcohol, I just figured that out. I didn't know that either. So there we go.
When it's like, a gallon for $2 at the store, I mean, and just to go off crazy, but like a retrofit window or whatever, you put acetone or something like that and it almost kind of melts you know what I mean? It cleans it, but this takes it off clean. just muscling to put that one on the market. That it had new windows when I had bought it, and they were just kind of like someone had got paint on them or something. But anyway,
pretty much happens all the time, right? The paint always finds its way. It attracts its way to the windows.
Yeah,
You know how to get it
they charge you extra for that, for the extra paint, right?
Yeah. Well, we painted the windows for you. That's an extra $500. We got those painted for you. They look great. Well, at least cut them in and finish it up if you're going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for giving the feedback. And yeah, you've been amazing to have you in the group. You're a perfect person we love to have in the group, which is just positive and just doing. And, and some people are new, some people have been doing it a while, but the reality is the common denominator between all of us is it's just good people willing to help and willing to kind of just, help support each other and get results and stuff. And that's been great, man. I love being a part of this. It was the main reason I started coaching, and it's to be part of something bigger than just me being, from my dungeon doing flips and being really good at it, but like by myself, no one to celebrate wins with. And you guys, I get to celebrate your wins with you, which is a lot of fun. Really cool, man. I love having you in the group. Appreciate you having, and thank you so much for this testimonial and doing this.
No problem.
Cool value too, by the way, for some of the listeners. So I hope they got some good feedback from that. Great. Alec, thank you so much, man. I won't keep you any longer. Have a great day. Enjoy your weather.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Buddy. See you.
All right, bye.